Here is Chief Meteorologist Chase Jones.
All right, so he didn't want to take the clicker. This is his last day, everyone. Get your goodbyes in, because I promise you he's going to Corpus Christi, and it should take a lot to get him back up here. Hopefully no more severe weather, but we're looking at it as he heads out. Now, thank you so much. That was a fast 2 years, and we definitely saw a lot, Stephen. With a guy with the last name Jones, you really just couldn't line it up any better than that, other than 2 eclipses. Now, temperatures over the last 24 hours finally calming down as you head out all the way down into those lower 70s, then those lower 60s. Then we pushed up 30 degrees into those lower 90s, and I promise you, everybody, by the weekend, somewhere in those triple digits, one more heat wave's going to make its way out. Maybe Stephen might be leaving the door open while he goes. 91 in San Angelo, everybody else in a combination of lower 90s, if not those mid 80s across the entire area. Let's look for 10 degrees right now, because there's nothing else to do, because Stephen is headed out. 91 in Robert Lee, 86 down there in Sonora, 5 degrees across the entire Concho Valley as we make our way into a beautiful weekend. Make plans, please, because hopefully it's half day Friday for everybody. Dew points are in those 50s and those 60s, and the humidity indices are in those 30s and those 20s, so pretty quiet weather out there. It should double by tonight, but we're keeping our eye on some pretty sharp weather going to push its way in. Tropical activity picking up, but nowhere near Corpus Christi, Stephen. Take a good look. Concho Valley will be split directly in half by Sunday. That's where we're going to see some of those warmer temperatures, so I can't believe we're going to have to practice hot weather safety. Upper level patterns going to show you what I'm talking about. Take a good look at this low pressure system making its way across the northern part of the nation. It will cut off and hold off a tropical storm. Then it will hover around the four corners, and we will find ourselves in some nice little ridging off the west coast, keeping our eye on the next round of cold weather, because it's going to drop us right back down to pretty much where we're at right now. Now, water vapor imagery is showing you the dry air really pushing down around Texas. Now, this is usually the beginning of Tornado Alley, so you get a better idea of where the moisture is going to start wrapping around and making its way up towards the north. Off the west coast, it's pushing all that tropical beach-like weather, not like Corpus Christi, Stephen, up into parts of Nevada, while we're seeing that monsoonal enhancement. So they are seeing some flash flooding, and we always find ourselves on the tail end of these systems as we see that light cloud cover make its way in for the evening. Now, it's going around the Concho Valley again today, but that's giving us a better idea of the Edwards Plateau and some of the colder weather that's going to try to make its way in by next week. Now, down at the surface, severe weather still going strong for parts of Missouri, and then, of course, around Oklahoma, still seeing some severe weather around the Panhandle, but we're not really zooming in. Now, take a good look at these low pressure systems. It's going to linger around parts of Minnesota, while the other one hangs out around parts of Nevada and Southern California. Then off the East Coast, that one is going to remain quasi-stationary, and then we find ourselves on a ginormous stationary boundary all the way down into the Concho Valley. But it's going to shape up for a beautiful Friday night football and ride into Ram Jam. So tonight, all the way back down into those lower 60s as I tried just not to cry. Then tomorrow, a good one of those lower 90s, but it's going to be inside the game. So we go from absolutely being upset to absolutely celebrating, because it's another long week of football, another long weekend of football. I can't believe it's already week 4. And then as we get closer towards that heat wave, the last week of September, then things are going to drop by 10 degrees all the way back down to those lower 90s, while those overnight lows go from those upper 60s into those lower 70s and right back down into those lower 60s. Stay tuned. I'll the break. You're watching KSAN News at 6.